The problem with these cases is that, well, as you know, we've done this many, many times. We come into these cases at the last minute, and there is almost a panic in the minds of the people that we're working with. So many times, lots of money at stake. They have inherited a file that is a problem. There can be problems with the prior legal team. There can be problems with the state of the discovery. There can be a lack of confidence, really, in the case that the current legal team has just been beaten down and they don't know where to go. And so, in a sense, the problem is almost like a lack of vision. Like, where are we going to go with this thing? Because it's a dark place typically when we come into these files. Is that kind of been your experience?
Yeah. They're looking for leadership and they're looking for direction.
Yeah. So that's kind of the problem that we're really addressing, is how can we provide that leadership and do it quickly, because a lot of times this is a late notice situation. They don't have a lot of time to get their act together. So that's the crisis management aspect of the service that we're rolling out here. You know, and one of the challenges that kind of overlays the whole file as we come into these cases very often is that there's blood in the water, in the sense that the plaintiff attorneys typically know that the defense is weak, there's a problem, and they are pouring maximum effort into trying to get the very the very most that they possibly can out of the file. So there's this enormous energy coming at the defendants from the plaintiff side, and the defense is kind of in disarray. Now, not all the times, but a lot of times that's the challenge, is that the leadership has just been beaten down. The new assessments program is really very, very simple. It's really 3 steps. The first step is a live deliberation with the case as it currently exists. So there's really nothing for the excess claim handler to do except to give us the information on the case, and then First Court puts that first trial together. That shows you where the case is going in its current form. Then we take the results from that jury research and we focus that into, crystallize it into a report. And the report has lots of video from the jurors reacting to the case. It has a lot of feedback graphs. It has a lot of quotations. It kind of shows the arguments that were made. And it's a really neat way to summarize really how what the results of that first trial are. So that's the second thing, is to get that report and the analysis from the first report and share it with our team of really high quality, top drawer lawyers. And then the third step is, after they've brainstormed, we take their ideas and we test it with the second follow-up jury research trial. So it's really those 3 steps, and you get obviously in that third step, the claim handler gets to see the lawyers in action, the top drawer lawyers, making a closing argument. So they get a vision for what this case could look like with the implementation of these new ideas and new strategies.
And Mike, one of the things that I get excited about is that the lawyers are not the only ones that you get to see reactions or you see output from. I guess you could say you get to see a presentation from. You get to see what these jurors really think about the case. You're not just looking at avatars or little pictures or text chat messages. You are watching them deliberate live in person, and so you're getting a real sense of a tone and the back and forth that a jury is going to have on these ideas that we're laying out. And
the web has allowed us to use technology in a way that we could never do back in the early 90s, for example. So we can now come into a case literally in a matter of 2 or 3 days and put together a panel of jurors in the trial venue, and we can get feedback from them with so much less effort than it used to take to do a full day mock with traveling and the facilities and all that jazz. We can do this so much quicker.
And the great thing about it, the one thing I like about it, is that our lawyers really are excited to do this and like to do this kind of work. These lawyers are idea lawyers. They thrive on what strategies will work, and so we're not pulling them into something that they don't want to do. They like this kind of work.
Now, some people say, well, why do we want to have these top drawer lawyers? Why don't we just use more average defense lawyers for this program. And there's a good reason for that, is that we have learned in handling these cases that one good idea, one good idea can be worth millions of dollars in these cases. And those good ideas, they don't come from lawyers who are scared. You know, they don't come from lawyers who are on the JV. You know, they come from these top drawer men and women who have been in this situation many, many times, and their brains are engaged. They're almost like they're jazzed by that. That's what we want to capture, is the best ideas flowing out of these top drawer legal minds. That's where you come up with $1 million ideas that are going to save the day in these excess claim emergencies.